Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, the greatest investor in history, the richest man in the world. I'm sure you heard of him, but today we're going to talk about the major key to his success and how you can use that to unlock any door. Okay, so we're going to go back to before Warren, and we're going to go to somebody called We're going to go to Benjamin Graham. He wrote 2 books during the Great Depression, right? The Intelligent Investor and Security Analysis, right? The first one is how to invest in a company rather than speculate. The second, Security Analysis, basically you're taking a company and it's showing you how to break it down to its lowest common denominator. So the cash flow, the assets they have on hand, the liabilities / bills, all that stuff. So together, you should know completely how to make sure a company is worth investing and which companies to invest in. Okay, so fast forward 1949. A 19-year-old Warren Buffett reads these books and he falls in love. He's smitten. I bet you've never seen a young Warren Buffett before. He just so happens to be applying for business schools at this time, and he is rejected by Harvard Business School. Now they look crazy. So what he does is he ends up applying to Columbia Business School, where Benjamin Graham is teaching. Buffett would later go on to say that learning from Graham is like learning baseball from somebody that bats 400. I'm not a baseball person, but I know that's pretty good. That's Hall of Fame numbers. A couple things about Benjamin Graham's style of teaching. Number 1, there were no textbooks, right? 2, they only used real world company for practical examples. And Graham's one major philosophy was that he liked mediocre, boring companies and wait until they are at a very cheap price to buy them. That was his steez. The class that Graham was teaching was only about 20 students. So Warren goes on to graduate and he actually applies to work for Graham. And he's rejected at first because Graham had a very small company outside of teaching and he really didn't have the headroom to be able to add somebody on. So he didn't bring Buffett on initially. Buffett went on to say that he would have worked for him for free. And then when he finally did get the call from Graham to come meet with him, and Graham offered him a job, he said, Graham must have forgot. He said he would work for free. Warren's working for Graham's firm. Everything's going good. And then Graham decides he wants to basically retire and move to California. So when this happens, Graham goes over to California. Warren starts his company, but they do remain friends for another 25 years until Graham passes away. Okay, so now Warren's on his own. He starts his own company. It's an investment firm. And a quick example for how successful Warren Buffett is in investing. In 1965, if you invested $10,000 with Warren Buffett, today it would be $360 million if you invested $10,000 in 1965 with Warren Buffett, right? That's the level of investor he went on to become. Now, I think Warren Buffett is probably a genius. He might also be a little autistic, but we're not talking about that. I think whatever intellectual pursuit he went into, he would have went on to be successful just because of his mindset and his predisposition to being practical. But what I'm saying is the key that led to his success. Now, mind you, at one time he was the richest man in the world, worth over 100 billion. Okay? But what I'm saying is the key to his success was he took Graham's philosophy, strategy, teachings, not only from his books initially, which would have been great. I think he would have used those to go on to be a millionaire. But his direct working for him and his direct studentship of Graham to go on to be the best investor in the world. When somebody has laid a blueprint for you, either a mentor or just somebody that achieved what you want to achieve, it only makes sense to follow that blueprint. Warren Buffett could have took these 2 books and went on, but luckily for him, he was able to actually become a mentee of Graham. And through that, 1, he was able to avoid a lot of the pitfalls that Graham went through initially when he was learning this information. And 2, it would have sped up Warren Buffett's progress to whatever result he was trying to achieve. He probably took years off of the gap between his initial idea of what he wanted to achieve and actually getting it. A personal example, Probably 2 months ago, I decided, you know what, I want to get in shape and I want to do YouTube. I decided to get a mentor that just so happened to specialize in both at a high level. And he had the obvious results to show that he knew what he was talking about. So now I can take the thinking out of it and take his blueprint and literally just follow it step by step without getting analysis paralysis or worrying about fears. And this was only 2 months ago. So while I am still in the middle of the process, one, I'm in the best shape of my life. And two, the fact that you're even watching this video on YouTube goes to show that I'm progressing in that arena. Like I said, it's only been 7 weeks, but physically I'm extremely different. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have even posted a video if I wasn't part of this mentorship. Everybody knows there's tons of ways to get in shape, right? You can work out more, you can eat less, you can get more steps, you can cut out sugar, do a carnivore diet, you can do a plant-based diet. But what I'm telling you is stop thinking so fucking much. Find something that works that you wouldn't mind doing, right? And do it.
Do it! Just do it!
If you decide you want to lose weight, you want to be vegan and get more steps, all right, make that decision and then stick with it and do it. Don't say, okay, well, I tried veganism for a couple of months and I didn't really lose the weight I wanted to do, so now I'm going to switch to carnivore and I'm going to, instead of get more steps, I'm going to work out now. No. Find out what it is that's going to get you from where you are to where you want to be and just follow the steps. Stick with it and don't look up until you get the results that you're looking for. And most importantly, don't be discouraged if the results that you are looking for don't come as fast as you initially envisioned them coming. It's not up to you how fast the results come. It's just up to you the work you put in. You need to control the input, not the output. And then once you have the results and you start to master the process, whatever process that you pick, then you can start to tweak it on your own and say, for example, for me, I still have a minimum of 5 weeks left in my mentorship. But after I'm done with that, I'm gonna still stick with the blueprint that got me where I am. But say I wanna swap out this certain exercise for this certain exercise because I feel this one would be more beneficial here, or I wanna swap the order of exercises that I do, I'll have enough knowledge to be able to make that decision. Or if I wanna switch my calories or my macros, at that point, I should have enough knowledge to be able to do it by myself, right? A mentorship is not somebody holding your hand, it's somebody teaching you to where you can learn for yourself later on. Back to our example, Warren Buffett didn't always follow what Graham said. Graham, while his strategies were very, very practical, they were also a little bit small-minded, right? At a certain point, he had to decide what he wanted to do. Graham would say, don't put too much money in any company in your portfolio. Warren, once he's mastered and became one of the best investors in the world, at times he might dump $1 billion into one company. He's doing it intelligently, and he's definitely analyzing the investment before he does it. He's not just throwing money around, right? He's taking what he learned from him, but he's doubling up and basically buying a whole company off of what he's learned from Graham, right? So you can tweak the process once you've mastered the process. Steph Curry didn't just go out in his first game and just start chucking threes, right? He did ball handling drills, he did layup drills, passing drills, all that to become a great player. And then once he started coming into his own, that's when he started shooting the three all crazy. And now he's to the point he can basically do whatever he wants because he has the results. He has the championships, 3-point record, the best shooter of all time. So now nobody's gonna question him. So what I'm saying to you is the work works, right? You need to just figure out what you want, a process to get you there, and then just do it.